This video is about how to cosplay, and by definition, cosplay is the contractions of the words costume and play. It is a hobby in which participants called cosplayers wear costumes and fashion accessories to represent a certain character. So your first step is going to be picking your character and knowing what you need for your character. I recommend putting together a little booklet and just printing out different pages of what their costume or what their design looks like from different angles. You want to make sure you know what the front looks like with the back. If they have details, you want to zoom in on those details to make sure you know what that looks like. For this how-to video, I'm using Shoto Todoroki from My Hero Academia as an example. You need to remember when you are shopping, though, is to only buy something when you know you can change it as you need it, though. Like, don't buy something and go like, oh, I think I can change this. No, you need to make sure you know what your limitations are. So I found everything I needed actually at 2 different Goodwill stores, and I got blue pants, a blue shirt, and big white boots. I did buy my my ribbon at Joann's, and I also bought face paint and hairspray at Party City. Okay, so the next step is modifying the clothes and the shoes and whatever you bought for your character. If you have to cover up some things, I recommend just trying to match it as closely as you can. This is just an old white t-shirt, and for the boots I have to cover this little sparkly fur thing. So all I'm going to do is take the t-shirt, already cut it, and then apply adhesive around the edges and just fold it down. That's all I have to do. I have to do the same thing for the tongue of the shoe, or the tongue of the boot. And it's just going to go at the very base. And I actually don't even have to do it all the way around the tongue because it'll fold over, and once the laces are there, it'll look really good. The next thing is the pants. I managed to find some good old plain blue pants. These are actually scrubs. And I have safety pinned the line in order as I need it. And all I'm going to do again is just apply the adhesive, because I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible. I'm not sewing, it's all adhesive. And then the main piece is the shirt. Everything is pinned. So next is going to be your cosplay makeup, and that can be if you're adding burns, wounds, scars, if you want to do birthmarks or anything like that, or tattoos if your character has a tattoo or design on them. And what I recommend is using just plain old face makeup. I got this from Party City. For my character, all I have to do is a burn across his eye. Very simple to do. Lastly is the hair. If you want to do a wig, that's great. I think a lot of good cosplays have wigs. Just make sure you invest in a good wig, honestly. But if you don't want to buy a wig and your hair is what you want it to be, you can just style it as you want your as your character looks, and then use hairspray paint, which is what I'm going to do. This is very easy to use. You just point it and you spray like normal spray paint. I do recommend doing this outside because it smells very strong, and I also recommend getting a friend to help you, especially with the back, in case you miss different parts. Okay, so I did have some problems. As you can tell, the hair didn't go out quite as it was supposed to. It was supposed to be a lot bolder and a lot more filling, and not quite as it looks right now. And I've never had that problem before, so I think it was a problem with the cans of paint themselves. But other than that, I didn't have any problems. I did have to change the shoulder a little bit because the ribbons aren't quite sized as they would need to be for his, but I still think it looks really good. And that was the only thing I had to change, and so it went really, really well. So overall, I spent about $35 on this entire cosplay. That includes buying my ribbons, buying my pants, my shoes, buying all the supplies for my face and hair. All that was around $35. And compared to the pre-made cosplays I can find online, which actually I could not find his boots online, I could find his uniform and a wig for him, and that added up to easily around $70, $80. So I think this is definitely a good thrift store cosplay that looks pretty good in comparison to what the ones that you can buy for a lot more money. So the time spent on this cosplay was probably around 6 hours, because I did have a lot of pinning to do. I had to make sure everything was straight and trying it on, then taking it off, making sure it was straight again. There was a lot of gluing. My fingers got very messy and gross. There was a lot of painting involved, a lot of spray painting and making sure everything looked good. So I think spending 6 hours on this cosplay is actually not that bad. I've spent way longer amounts of times on many different cosplays, so 6 hours is pretty much nothing.